Hey there YouTube, this is Shimoden Pole showing off my new Ruger Mark IV 2245. It's in the bronze color, they call it bronze. I think it looks copper. I really like it. Everyone knows about the new takedown on the back. Makes it super quick, but I just wanted to review it a little bit because I haven't seen many videos on the internet. So I've already started upgrading this a bit. As you can see, there's the Tandemkross Compensator in their halo ring, and then also I've got the Tandemkross Victory trigger on there, but I had that on there first, and then I put on the Volquartsen trigger Accurizing kit, and I had the Volquartsen trigger for a bit. Didn't like it, put the Victory trigger back on, and it didn't fit. So what I had to do, I'll bring it in close, is I got a Dremel and grounded out the back of that trigger. Rounded it a little in the center and tried to keep it as stock as possible, and then put some aluminum black on there. And I put it back in and it worked. So just gonna show everyone this halo is pretty sweet. One thing I like about the halo is not only can you grab right here, but you can come around like this, like the way it was before. I think that's pretty convenient if you don't want to stick your finger in there. And I don't know, Tandemkross, maybe if you had a couple little textured grooves right here, that'd be pretty spectacular. So then you could come one finger, two fingers, whatever. Let's take this down. Just pops right off like that. And I want to share some things about the inside. You can't see it while it's all together, but right here is the bolt catch, and there's a return spring up here. And this isn't in any of the videos I've seen online, nor is it in the Volquartsen install videos or paperwork for the Mark IV that isn't the 2245. So there's a little spring right in there, and when you take out the trigger pin, you're going to lose it. So keep an eye out for that. And then also wanted to point out to Volquartsen that the instructions online are for the Mark IV Target and Hunter, but not for the 2245. And I think it'd be helpful to have a little bit of clarification that when you pull out the hammer, there's some extra springs on there that you do not take off the old hammer to put back in. It was interesting taking a trigger assembly apart and putting it back together without some parts and knowing whether or not that's okay. But I'm sure someone else knew that, I didn't. So I just want to share. If anyone has any questions, let me know. There's the Tandemkross Game Changer Compensator. Comes with a Picatinny rail, which is great. I put my Vortex Viper PST 1 to 4 on there. It looked ridiculous, but it was still pretty cool. And then a Freon suppressor on it. It's pretty sweet. The trigger pull now is, I don't have a meter, but it's crisp and clean. And let's do it from the other side. Give it a little bit. You hit a wall. I can make the take up less than that. The problem is it resets right about there, but you need a little more reset for it to be quick. Otherwise, I feel like you take your finger off and then it just barely resets. So you want to give it an extra quarter to half turn. Figure that out, but you give it a little pull and then, oh, safety. Give it a little pull. There you go. And then, here, listen for the reset. There you go. A little bit more. Come in. And then that's about it. If anyone has any questions about it, let me know. It's my first Ruger 2245. Got a Browning Challenger that's super old and pretty badass too, but this is great. Really happy. I've got a Vortex Viper red dot coming, and I'll show that once it's on here. There's a ADM quick mount that can go right there, and then you can, if you know your different weapons, you can move it back and forth between a 1022 or anything with a rail, or it'll even have a co-witness if you put it on a Glock or HK or something that's got suppressor sights. So I'm gonna give that a shot, and then I'd like to try out the Burrs Fastfire 3 mount that goes right into these two holes, top, right there. And actually, no, it doesn't go. It goes in that screw, and then you tap out the back sight, and it sits in the dovetail. And that, I'm thinking, is gonna let me co-witness. I just not sure if I want it, so I'll give it a try. I think with this gun, co-witnessing isn't always better. Again, this is Shimoda pole, my Mark IV Ruger 2245 Lite in bronze/copper. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.